game. Our guys battled to the end. We got it right in front of the rim. Just didn't make the play. We turned it over the play before, which killed us. But our guys are gutty guys. They played hard. They didn't quite have it, but they hung around, and they gave themselves a good chance to win. So it's a tough team to play early in the year. You know, their tempo control, they get in their best players' hands, they run that Princeton stuff. And overall, we guarded good. We got to guard the ball a little bit better than that. But overall, you know, we had more offensive problems than we had defensive problems, I thought, overall. Just didn't quite have it. Thanks.
You guys gave a 54% shooting from the field, and for the first 32 or so minutes, you didn't allow any back cuts from Princeton. But instead, they was able to handle you guys one-on-one. Was that something you was going to have to accept them taking you guys one-on-one, or was that something you didn't accept?
We expected it. They put in their best. They have 3 really good one-on-one players. And they move you around so much that you lose sight of the ball sometimes. And if you don't guard the ball well, there's not as much help because they're running all those cuts and they're running you around. I thought, like, energy-wise, we didn't have great energy. And then we didn't play much bench, you know, which probably hurt us some. You know, we played a lot of games. So it looked like we just didn't quite, have, like Fusini, for example, I didn't think he had his normal juice, you know, so, you know, that's a tough decision, like, against that kind of stuff. Like, do you play more bench? Do you play less bench? And then we didn't score well around the rim, which really hurt us. And then we worked hard against a double team. We didn't do a very good job against that. We thought we could throw it in there and get 3 balls back out, but we didn't do a very good job with it.
Defense is one of those things that can take some time to kind of settle in, especially with so many new players on the team. Do you think that has contributed to maybe some of your defensive issues early in the season?
Not really. I think, you know, we just have to get better. I mean, we did some good things. We forced 16 turnovers from a team that really doesn't turn the ball over that much. So you can look at it a couple of different ways. Their shooting percentage was really good. They made some tough ones. You know, they made open threes, which, you know, they're good. Those guys are good shooters. And Alako played really good. We caught him on a good night. We did a good job on Pierce overall. You know, we didn't do such a good job on Alako and Lee. You know, I thought we had problems there. And then, you know, their big guy hit a big 3 on us. Every time we came back, they hit a big 3 on us. And then we gambled a couple of times, which was dumb. But, I mean, we knew it was going to be a dogfight. You know, they're hard to play from behind on, you know, because they're just going to use the clock on you. And you have to have tremendous discipline. But we had our chances. Like, we had it twice to take the lead. So we made a couple really good defensive plays at the end, which, you know, we just didn't make a couple. We put in our best player's hand. You know, we went with Jimmy on the drive. The guy did a good job on him, and he turned it over. You know, and then the next play, he made a good pass. Foose just didn't make it, which, you know, normally he's going to make that one. If we make it, we're all happy.
Coach, you mentioned like a key point in this game was conversions at the rim. You made it a point in the offseason to acquire a couple of guys to improve the front court, and tonight Princeton had 34 points in the paint. Can you talk about kind of how you plan to improve going forward, because there's still a lot of season left, and just that seemed like a point of weakness tonight?
Well, I said before, like, that we had to develop our inside game if we really were going to become a great team. And we didn't play very good in there tonight. Like, not only did we not score it, but we also turned the ball over in there when we should be able to throw out of those double teams and get 3 balls. So until we really develop that part, then we're a little bit too perimeter oriented. I mean, they scored in the paint. They drove us. I mean, but, you know, I didn't feel like they completely dominated us. I thought we had them pretty much covered early in the game. We had offensive issues, and then we got a little bit tired, and we got beat a little bit up top. And then at the end, I thought, you know, we revved up again and guarded a little bit better. But part of it is we played a lot. Like, I'm not making excuses, but we've played a lot of games here in the last. So I felt like we were a quarter step slow, kind of. looked like it to me. It's hard because we had to prep. Like we had a one-day prep on them, and so we couldn't just sit them around and do nothing. So we had to work them, and we got another one-day prep, so that's hard too. No excuses. I mean, it's a tough game though. They had a little more rest than we did. They play less people than we do, so it was kind of a wash in some regards.
Keith, I feel you can make a case for you guys maybe having the toughest non-conference schedule, maybe in the conference. I don't know, but what goes into making a schedule like this? You look at your roster. Do you look at?
It's a hard schedule. I mean, it's you figure with Charleston, Cleveland State, you're talking about teams that win a lot of games. These guys, they went to the Sweet 16 last year. Santa Clara beat Stanford last night. UC Irvine beat USC last night. Bradley's really good. It's not going to get any easier. They're all A10. They're all A10 type teams. So, like, this team's a hard team because of their style. So it's a hard schedule. We felt like we were going to have a relatively good team, so why not?
Coach, I felt like obviously their style sort of forced your big men to be very mobile and dynamic, both in how they defended and how they rebounded. How did that sort of affect your rotation, especially with Trey being out and Lucini getting into foul trouble?
I mean, it affected us. I think it's a relatively good game for Trey Williams, because he's played against that stuff before, playing Richmond and that. And then Lucini getting in foul trouble affected us. And then Jakob had a freshman night. He wasn't great, but he's capable of playing better than that. So we have enough guys. I mean, we do, but I wouldn't say it didn't affect us, because it did.
Coach, in the past, would you have trusted Trey Clark to play so many minutes out there despite the heavy foul trouble he was in?
Look, I wasn't going to sit him down there and not play him. I mean, what good does that do? We're playing from behind. I mean, he's a smart kid. Like, he can't keep his hand out of the cookie jar, but he's a smart kid. I mean, he got a couple tough calls. I thought the one, like, they reached in and grabbed him first and then he charged. That was a tough fourth foul. I don't know. I'd rather go down playing him than not playing him.
Coach, you said Jakob had a freshman night. I saw you pull him aside when he subbed out early in the first half, kind of put your arm around him, talk to him. I saw some of the other guys on your bench talking to him after he came out. What can he take away from a night like this? And freshmen in general, I saw Jake had some big minutes tonight. What can they take away from a high-pressure environment where, mistakes are going to happen?
I thought he got tired. I thought he got tired. He made some mistakes that he normally wouldn't make. He's going to be a good player. I mean, every game is a learning experience. So he's kind of been thrown out there, relatively quickly, and playing multiple positions on top of it. We had to play him at the 5 some tonight because of our issues. So it certainly wasn't on him. Like, our older guys got to play a little bit better than that. The game really wasn't on him.
Last 15 seconds of the game, you guys get the steal. Creed brings up the ball. You had a timeout left. Was there any desire to not call a timeout to avoid Princeton not getting set, or was there any regret on your part not calling up a play to get one of the other guards the ball?
I mean, we got a great shot. I mean, I've consistently done the same thing. So there's no second guess for me. Like, we did it last year. We scored at the end of the game with Jimmy. We scored with Tevin Brewer. I just think it's easier to play out of those situations than it is out of a set situation. So, I mean, different guys have different philosophies. You can't get a much better shot than that one now. So, we called timeout to play before, and we turned it over, so. I mean, it's half dozen one to the other. I don't think there's a right or wrong answer. We didn't win, so you can criticize it. I got my big boy pants on. I think I can take about anything anybody can throw at me. But I don't think you can get anything better than a 2-foot, jumper in the paint. So I'll take that every damn day of the week. It's a little helter-skelter. You're right. Like, you can get a bad shot too, but I think it's a little harder than playing against a set situation. It's a little easier than playing against a set situation, in my opinion, especially if you practice it.
Do you have any update on those two guys, the big guys? Do you know when those guys are gonna come back?
I think Trey Williams will be back sooner than later. Like, I don't think he'll play against Ryder in Nebraska, but I think he'll be back after that at some point, unless he has a complication. And then Duquesne probably for the conference season, optimistically. Pretty bad injury,
Any other questions for Coach?
Okay, one more.
They keep asking him. I'm good, Jim.
Okay, cool.
Just wanted to ask about Andre. 23 minutes for him tonight. Seems like in the last 2 games he's been guarding both bigger and smaller, opponents. What do you think his ideal role looks like here, and how can he be most effective for you guys?
I think he's played better. I do. I mean, he's capable of scoring around the rim. I think he can pass out of the double team. I think he can drive it. I think both those guys are good players, Fusini and Andre. We're probably a little better on offense when we play them together. Probably not quite as good defensively, because Dixon does change a lot of shots at the rim. He makes big plays. He didn't score around the rim, and his free throw shooting is a little suspect, but I think Andre's going to be a good player. He just has to relax. He's missing some around the rim that I would think he would make. But I think it's just comfort. Anybody else? All right.